Greetings out there in YouTube land from the planet Earth. And I've had an interesting little bit here, right? God healed me in March on the 12th, right? And took my wife June 26th. She was in another country at the time from me. She had some things to take care of there. So I couldn't be there to lay hands on her and stuff like that. But the way things go, right? He had his reasons. She's a little too soft for the things to come. She had a heart of gold and was a good woman, right? But uh, I'm standing in my faith, because it's out of the body with the Lord. And come on, after God heals you and talk with you, if I can't stand tall in my faith, who can? But I'm telling you, God is real. And it's later than most think, and you need to stand tall in your faith, right? Now, God knew this time would be a little hard on me. I mean, it's usually hard on anybody out there. I know there's a lot about you out there that are grieving the loss of loved ones, right? I hear silly things that kind of get me in one way because they go rest in peace. Well, excuse me, out of the body and with the Lord, they're not laying in some hole in the ground, okay? A lot of us have been brainwashed, to follow these doctrines and dogmas of men. But Jesus came to set us free because, dancing around 9 times in a circle, and touching your nose with your finger ain't going to cut it. And that's pretty much what some of these dogmas and doctrines are pretty much, some silly nonsense, right? He tells you not to repeat stuff. Yet them Catholics repeat prayers over and over and over with their rosaries, right? Some of them may love God in their heart, but they don't, and I don't mean to insult any of them, but if you ain't opening the Bible and reading it, how much do you really love God? He tells you not to do that. He tells you not to bow down to idols. He tells you not to raise men up and bow down to them, right? When the Pope says there is no hell, what's he Pope of, right? When he says all this sin is okay that the Bible says is wrong, are you still believing them? Come on, he's the Antichrist Pope. He's going to say that's God when Satan shows up really soon, right? But still, God wanted to uplift me. And what do you do? I'm sitting back, I mentioned a few of them out when I thought, is anybody listening? Because I feel like I'm screaming from the wilderness, but all I am is a whisper in the winds because a lot of people are turned a deaf ear. Again, it's a good thing to take a look at your Hebrews 5, verse 11 to 14 to understand where I'm coming from, right? And he didn't want things to be that hard for me. He's been really blessing me richly, right? So, when I ask these things, something pops out, right? And a lady's put a couple of people in my life, right, that I ran into. A really nice lady in England there, Nintendo Gaming. She's a real sweetheart. She put out 2 shout outs for me, okay? First one got me 20 subs, okay? I really appreciate that, right? The second one, nobody paid attention, but that's okay because I did and God did, see? She said she was going to do something and she did it, right? I've got so many people say they're going to do something, but they never did, right? God hears that all the time, right? He notices when people keep their word, right? He notices when people keep their promises, right? Because God don't like people that lie, right? Take a look at your Revelation 22:15. See where the liars are out there with the wild dogs and murderers and everything. They can't get into God's holy city. So forget about seeing a politician anywhere in God's city or anywhere in God's government. It ain't going to happen, right? No way, no how are they going to ever get near a position of authority. The politicians we see out there, come on. They're the spoiled toddlers, that it speaks about in Ecclesiastes. You really need to check your Bible, right? It tells you so much vital stuff, right? They say that you're never alone and I'll never abandon you, right? My point here. Now, someone may freak out when a loved one comes because they don't have enough faith. They're not standing in their faith. I stood in my faith because it says out of the body and with the Lord, right? And that encourages me. He could have taken me so many times. I died and came back a bunch of times. You don't think that when I was sitting in that hallway that my heart would stop him? My wife could only stand for little bits at a time, okay? And because they wouldn't even bring her a damn chair. They got them bolted in chairs you can't take with you. That's how heartless those monsters were. And God says if you don't show mercy and compassion, you're not going to get any, right? That's a side issue here. Here's my wife going there, and things flatlining, and nobody wants to do a damn thing about it, right? And then it started by itself. That was God, right? And I didn't even know there were 2 life flights there for 14 hours. Didn't know anybody was there. Nobody bothered to tell them. That's how much they care about you. But God is not like that. He loves you. Did you know most of the people in America are victims of medical negligence? I mean, like, was it 3 out of 4? And they don't even know it. They have things left in them. They give them contaminated blood. They do all sorts of stuff to them. And then they laugh at them. They don't do right by them. Because you can't trust these people. God is the great physician, though, right? He knew that this is coming. And he put these people in my life so that people talk to me, and they're telling me that my videos encourage them to help uplift me. what should be a really horrible moment in my life, because it is for a lot of you. But instead, it's bringing me joy because I know she's with Jesus because I'm standing in my faith. And the fact that my little voice in the is nothing, I'm a voice in the wilderness, a whisper in the winds. Who hears a whisper with all the noise of the world? But some of them listen and actually said they liked it, and it's helping some people. I am so richly blessed, and he just keeps heaping his blessing on me. I'm trying not to cry here, right? I messed up so much in my life. I turned my life around late. You hear the parable of the workers in the field and something came along later. I'm one of those later guys, right? And even though all the sin that I had done wrong, and I want to cry right now, you gotta bear with me, right? He forgave me and he gave me a chance, right? He put me to work once. I messed up a little bit, and I was in my little time out here. I didn't learn a couple of things, right? But the thing is, he forgave me again and trusts me again. And to have the trust in your God who loves you, I couldn't ask for anything more, I've been richly blessed beyond anything I totally deserve because I had done a lot of things wrong in my life. Yeah, I had a guy put a shotgun in my chest once and pull the trigger and I heard the click because I didn't want him to kill two people. I stood between them. I just couldn't see that. I couldn't allow that. Okay? Over my dead body thing, right? And I heard that click and it's a deafening click because you expect to be dead any second. And just with one hand, I grabbed the rifle and the shotgun, should I say, and threw it. It went far, okay? And then I started walking. I wanted to kill that man and rip out his throat. I do know how to hurt people. I was in the military for a while, by the way, in case some of you don't know. Okay? It just wasn't for me, okay? Things didn't work out, I just didn't feel it, Running around and all, they had nothing to do back then anyway. They weren't doing anything. It just seemed like a waste of time to me, right? So, I didn't really learn much there, but I learned stuff after, see the point. But I learned a little bit there, not really that much I thought it was any use, right? I spent my life learning all kinds of stuff, right? I know it sounds silly. I can talk the fancy words, but God wanted it kept simple. So I'm keeping it simple, keeping it real, and words that anybody can understand because Satan's game's all complicated. In the hardest time of my life, right here, the loss of somebody who actually loved me, which that's something some of you can relate with, right? Instead of the sorrow and the grief there, I had a momentary little bit of sadness because I missed her smile and things like that. And I remember the smiles and the jokes and the silly things she said to me. But I'm uplifted because I know she's with Jesus, right? And to help this, I got a friend that emailed me once in a while. He's been working on something for the Lord. I understand, right? I give him a little advice from time to time, right? That he finds beneficial, right? But he was thinking she was there. I'm sorry for you, yeah, but and he's agreeing with me out of the body and with the Lord. It's nice to have a person of faith, because you got to be evenly yoked, right? If you're unevenly yoked, all kinds of problems happen. And a lot of these chat rooms are being run by the lukewarm, and some of them just teetering just barely above cold, who say, God didn't literally mean this. God didn't literally mean that. And I'm so filled with that righteous anger because my God does mean that. I listened to his word. Okay, I messed up a little bit, but when I got on that track, he richly rewards me like he's doing right now. God is not a liar. How dare you say God didn't literally mean that? And then some of these people, they jump from chat room to chat room and they make them blue. They don't deserve it. They won't even get into God's house because they're wolves in sheep clothing, looking to cause derision and division among the brotherhood, causing the arguments when God says to uplift, right? And what did happen? These people come along like Nintendo Gaming and Grace and Bernice. I'm giving you a shout out too, right? They came in there at a time where I'm still a little soft on the inside because I'm missing my wife, right? And they're encouraging me instead of tearing me down, right? They're making a difference in my life like they do everybody else's, and they don't even realize it, right? Every day you get a chance to speak life or death. The choice is yours, right? But most people don't even think about that. The words coming out, the moment of just saying, hey, are you doing okay to a person in need? Like I minister to people here. I don't care what time it is, day or night, 24 hours a day. They can knock on my door. If they're hungry, I'll feed them. They can call me on the phone, right? I don't worry about it. Why should I? My God will provide for me. I may not have much now. I am owed more money than most of you can even imagine by my own government, right? They're delaying it, but I am owed a lot of money with a lot of zeros behind it, okay? And God's going to provide me the funds shortly to move, right? He's got some in mind for me. I don't know if he's going to touch somebody to mail me a check. I don't know if he's going to touch somebody to actually, do right by me. Or he could say, hey, man, there's some other people out there I'm going to touch and do it. But I know that I can stand in faith because God said it's going to happen. So it's going to happen. The thing is, a lot of people want it right now. And that's the thing with the middle of Romans 12:12 is my little bit of the issue I've been working on. Is being patient, right? A lot of you are dealing with that. Of course, a lot of us want Jesus here today or tomorrow, but we forget if he'd come early before, how many of us would have been lost and not had a chance to encounter with him? So God, it may look he's taking a time on some things, but there's a good reason for it, right? Because God's got timing down to perfection, right? He does, whether you realize it or not. And in our moments of our weaknesses, when God shows his strength, right? Here I am feeling one day, maybe listening, boom, God, hey, he answers every time there, right? And, for a little bit I was thinking, and boom, there he is, right? And here I am at a soft spot in my life, and he's got nice people around me that I didn't even know before. And they're so nice, and they turn out, hey, I like that, really, oh, wow, this is going to help people. And what a great honor they have done me to think of me as a good servant of God. There is no better compliment you can pay anyone, but wow, you're a good servant of God, right? That is the greatest honor compliment you can give anyone. I'm tired of these things. Oh, I'm so sexy. Excuse me? I've had women on one place trying to throw themselves at me, trying to send me naked pictures. I joke you not, right? Because they say something I know. I say, hey, I'm not interested. I roll with Jesus. And next thing you know, they're sending me naked pictures. I don't want to see that. Sorry, not interested. If I see a woman naked again and in my bed, it's because I married her and that's my wife, and I'm going to do right by God. No ands, no ifs, no buts, right? I might see you and go for dinner and that, but don't think you're going to take me to the sack. I ain't falling for that thing. The Bible talks about, yeah, they curfew in the bed, come on in, you come on in, buddy, and it's the gateway to hell. They talk about it in the Bible for a reason. They got them succubuses out there. I've heard a couple of stories where they kind of try to get people in their dreams, right? They look like a flying babe, and you think you're dreaming, and you don't realize you're having sex in your spiritual body and sinning against God, right? Some people think they're having dreams, and they're traveling in their spiritual body to events happening, and they don't even realize it, right? There's more going on than most of you realize. So that's the whole point. And God is watching everything. So when you're at a down point in your life, don't cry and fall down and fall to pieces. Stand up tall and say, God, may not know the reason, but I know that you had a good one, right? And just help me, so I don't, help me through this time. And he will be there for you every time. I was having some struggles with some urges, right? And I said, God, can you please take these away? And I said sincerely from the heart, because I wanted to be a better servant. And it wasn't for me, so that I could be a better servant for God. And that was good enough for him to do it. And urges that I had for like years are gone, 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 nothing. They have no hold on me at all. Thanks to God, right? And then every time I turn around, he keeps richly blessing me with new people coming into my life. He truly is a God of abundance, but not the way some people think. He gives you what really matters, and he knows what you really need. All you have to be is smart enough to realize it when you see them, and thank him every day for giving you another chance too. Think about it. In your struggles of life, there's nothing that's too impossible for God to fix. And he's richly blessed me by putting some nice people in my life. I may just be passing through for a season. I may be there longer. It's all in God's hands what happens, right? But the point is, you put him in there, put people in my path when I needed them. But they'll do for you. If you just pay attention and see them, and see how richly blessed you are. Think about it and give Jesus a call today. Bye-bye.